Hi, it's Snorgle. Welcome to my 4th anniversary special. So, in April 16th, 2021, I uploaded my first video. We'll talk about what that was in a minute. And I've been uploading videos every single day, more than 7 a week. I do 9 a week. When I started off, I did 7 a week, and I thought that I would go through and just chill in this peaceful Minecraft world. I'm a noob to Minecraft, so I don't know that much about it. This is legitimately amazing. Anyway, I thought what I'd do is just go through and chill a little bit, and we could talk about what games I've played in order of me playing them. Look at that, huh? And so I thought I'd get a little review of every single game. There's 170 games, so I'm not sure that I'm actually going to be able to legitimately do it all in a single video. I think it's going to be multi-parts, but we'll see. We'll see. So, let's get to it. First of all, let's take a look around this peaceful Minecraft world. Maybe we're in the desert? I don't know what that is. What is that? Okay, so so we can get sticks from that. Okay. Are there any trees around there? I don't think there's any trees around. Huh. Well, this is going to make it a little challenging. Let's look around. I don't know what this biome is at all. Of course, I'm a noob at Minecraft. I don't know what almost anything is. Let's get some higher ground. Let's see what we have here. So the very first game I played, not a single tree in sight. Okay, this is going to be more challenging than I thought. Good thing there's going to be no gribblers around. Good, sklurb. The very first game I played was a game called Jenny LeClue Detective Who. And I really enjoyed that game quite a bit, actually, by a small little indie developer. I think it was the original concept was it wasn't even really, where am I going to find wood? There's some wood over there. Maybe we can swim there. Not sure. So you're a young lady, and your mom ends up being accused of a murder, and you have to act like an investigator and try to solve the investigation. The art style is amazing. It's absolutely incredible. We're going to have to come back here because this is incredible. The art style is amazing. The animation is great. The voice acting is incredible. It's really a great game. It's so much fun. The only problem I had with it, and this is really the only problem I had with it, is, what is that in the water? Is that something in water or is that a reflection? I can't tell. Let's go. Let's see. I think I can swim. Yeah, okay. There we go. Oh, going pretty fast too. Okay, good. So the only problem that I really could tell was that they ended on a cliffhanger, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that at all, right? Cliffhangers are fine. They're a standard part, but they didn't resolve any parts of the story. And can I get up here? Yeah, there we go. They didn't resolve any parts of the story. They left everything hanging, which is incredibly frustrating. As a player and somebody who's consuming the story, they just left absolutely everything hanging. What the sklurp is that? Go down here. I don't want to get any damage. If I don't have to. Huh. Well, let's keep going to where the trees are. And again, they just didn't resolve it, and that was deeply frustrating. If you want to leave a cliffhanger, I got no problem with that at all. I think that's fantastic. I love cliffhangers, but resolve the story. So that was my issue with Jenny LeClue Detective Who, the very first game I played on my channel. The second game I played on my channel was Call of Cthulhu. I'm not a huge Lovecraftian sort of person. I'm fine. It's just not something I consume that much of. But I enjoyed it. It was a really fun game. It was challenging, super scary, very spoopy. If you're into Lovecraftian stuff, I highly recommend playing it. I highly, highly, highly recommend playing it because it was super fun, nice story, interesting. Yeah, that was great. Very scary. Look at the size of this tree. Good splarg. Okay, well, I guess we start punching. Can we tackle a tree that's a little more our size? No? All right, fine. So, yeah, it was super fun, really interesting, great story. It was just overall, it was an absolutely fantastic time. I loved it very much. Very, very good. So the third game I played, and again, this was, I really hadn't, I should talk a little about my channel what I wanted it to be. I wanted to really concentrate on story-rich games. And just because, it's like independent-ish. I sort of got into the hardcore independent thing a bit later. But the size of this tree is just overwhelming. So the next game, I really like Jenny LeClue, and previous to Jenny LeClue, I really hadn't played that many detective games. So I thought that I would, on my third game, that I would dive deep into a kind of classic franchise, Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishments. And so I liked that game a lot. Like Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishments was great fun. It was a really fantastic game, very, very challenging from a puzzle standpoint. Really good story. A little bit. What the scorp is that? Is that a kitty? Hi, how are you? You're gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Now let's go to our crafting table. And we're just gonna make a wooden axe so it'll be a little bit easier to get this tree down. We'll be sitting for wood for a while after this though. Let's see. Okay, so let me think. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And again, if you're not familiar with me, I just started playing Minecraft literally like how many weeks ago? Maybe 4 weeks ago, maybe 5. I've never played before. I had no interest in it, so I'm a total Minecraft noob. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm enjoying it immensely. So Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes it's a really fantastic story. I like the series a lot. I planned on doing a lot more. The problem was that apparently there was on some of the later games there's copyrighted music, and the unfortunate thing is you can turn music down, but it's copyrighted music in the cutscenes, so it doesn't turn off in there, and that was a bummer because I really liked that game. It was very challenging, really interesting, fantastic story. I felt like it went absolutely straight along with the whole Sherlock Holmes vibe. I'm not a huge Holmesian. I don't really read that much, frankly, but it felt like it fit right in. It felt like it was very cool, and I liked that game a lot. The next game I played was a game called The Guest, and this was a small indie game, and the premise of it was intriguing. It was let's see, what am I doing here? I'm going to fall and die. The premise was extremely intriguing, and it was that you wake up. I think you're a famous like scientist or something, and you wake up and find yourself in this room, and you don't know why you're there, and you have to try to escape. And it looks like it's a pretty standard hotel room, dated, probably like the date is probably not current time. It started off really interesting. The story was kind of intriguing. It was very strange. And then there was something to kind of really spoil it for me. And that was that there was one puzzle in particular that was random, and it didn't have to be random. And it was one of those situations where if you don't handle random stuff like in a procedural way, with the rules around it, I think that it ends up being really unpredictable and kind of crappy, and I don't like it, I want to head back to this biome though. Now that we have some wood, I want to head back here. And it's nighttime, so I think we should be safe because there's supposed to be nothing's going to kill us. And that was a scary kitty back there, but it seemed to be okay. Oh, that's okay. That could kill us for sure. I've died to lava before. Let's see, where are we going here? Yeah. I want to head back to here because there's some trees over there too. That's good. Good to know. So The Guest, again, it was an interesting concept, a legitimately interesting concept, and I liked it except for that one thing. That one puzzle just really screwed it up for me. I spent a long time trying to get it, and it was one of those situations where I think this is right. Again, it's been 4 years, so excuse my not remembering as well as I could, but hey, is that dolphin talking to me? Hey, cool. Okay, so there's gold all over the place here, and I don't have anything. Doggone it. Anyway, so that kind of screwed it up for me. The story at the end was okay. Again, it was one of those situations where it was a little. I felt like they were trying a little too hard to go for like a tricky ending, That's not working at all. Okay. Oh, because I need a pickaxe. That's right. Wow. I'm going to die going down there. Oh, you only live once. Okay, nope. There we go. Okay. Oh, nope. Shoot. Blarg? How do I get... Let's see. Okay. Whew. I think I can go down here. Man, how do I get down? I'm gonna die. Okay. Oh, that wasn't too bad. I don't know where I might... Is this like a desert or something? I don't know. It's very cool though. Let's just start exploring. Yeah, and so that part of the guest really kind of turned me off. It was really... It just ended up that the ending wasn't great, and they tried to do this twist ending, and I always feel like I have no problems doing twist endings. I think it can be kind of interesting, but I think it's harder to do than most people think. So after that, I played a game that I enjoyed immensely. This was by a solo developer out of Australia, I believe, called The Eyes of Ara, another puzzle game. And essentially, you have to go to this haunted house, or this house is sort of abandoned, and it ends up, and there's sort of all kinds of weird stuff happening, and you have to figure out why this is happening. And it's a little bit unclear why you have to figure out this is happening, but the story slowly unfolds as you're there, and it's very cool. It's very, very neat. It's a very cool game. You should absolutely play it if you want to, because it's really fun. So then the next game I played was a game called To the Moon. And To the Moon is an iconic game. I'm sure you know it. It's an iconic story. Very well known. It's another indie game. It's probably more of a interactive fiction than it is actually a game. I mean, it is a game, but it tells this really, really touching story. I think that was the first time that I had to legitimately try to hold back tears on my channel, because there's the lights coming from over here, and I don't know what it is. Where's the light? Is it lava? I'm so confused. No. Oh, it's one of those things. Neat. You said I don't know what they're called. Wait. Why is there a light down there too? Oh, it's the same. Oh, that's so weird. I haven't seen one in the open. What the scorp? Huh. Can I take this? Okay. Weird. Yeah, so again, it was when I did that game, actually, I was super concerned, because this was the first sort of what the scorp is that? This was the first sort of non-gamey game that I played, and I was really worried. I was super worried. In fact, I had a couple of friends of mine watch the first couple of videos before I released them to say, I'm concerned about this, because this may not go well, you know? And they watched and said, no, this was super fun and good. You should totally do this. So that was helpful. Thank you to, you know who you are. So after that was a game that I'm sure needs no introduction. It's a game called Heavy Rain. And again, this is a AAA game, and you may notice that I'm at this point I'm playing some indie titles, but I'm sort of balancing it between indie titles and some slightly well-known games. And I'm not sure. I mean, I guess Heavy Rain is a AAA title, to be sure, but I'm not sure that a lot of the other games I played would qualify as a AAA title. I mean, is Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment AAA? Maybe. Anyway, I wonder what's so glowing down there. That's so cool. What is that? That big cave over there. Huh. So Heavy Rain, of course, is a classic game. I thought it was pretty good. There was a couple of things about it that I didn't kind of care for a little bit. I'm not going to get too much into plot because I don't want spoilers, but there's just a couple of things about the plot that didn't quite sit well with me. And I thought maybe felt a little bit misogynistic, just a little bit. And I could be wrong about that. I'm certainly no socialist like sociologist. I'm certainly I don't know that much about that kind of stuff, but I feel like I thought that was the only like sort of marring part of it for me, was that. So cool. I've never seen any of these biomes before. They're amazing. So cool. Okay, so after Heavy Rain, we got to a game that I've heard a lot about, and I'd never played it before. And it's a very polarizing game, and that's a game called Deadly Premonition. And I played the Steam version. Not every game, but almost every game I play. If I can't play the Steam version, I do play the Steam version. I'd seen a little bit of it, and it looked a little intriguing, so I thought I'd give it a go. And I played it, and I will say this. Deadly Premonition, from a technical standpoint, is the absolute worst game I've ever played in my entire life. I can't believe. So let's give you some background. It was originally for, what's this? What is this? I don't think there's anything that can kill me, but I'm going to make a I left my doggone, I left my table over there. Oh, well, no big deal. It's fine. I'm an idiot. So let me just talk about why it's subjectively a bad game. Just technically, okay. We'll talk creatively. We'll talk about that in a second. But technically, it's one of the worst, most garbage games I've ever seen. It's not even in shape for like a first release alpha. It's so broken. It's the PlayStation version is obviously not that way at all. The PlayStation version is actually playable, but boy howdy, the Steam port is not. The Steam port is just garbage. And I'll tell you, I'll give you some examples. I give you some really. Oh, that's not what I want. Hold on. I give you some really specific examples. There we go. So. You can be driving along and there could be a corrupted texture in the background and your game crashes. That happened a lot. I was playing this one level and the frame rate just slowly. I thought there weren't supposed to be spiders here. Thought there weren't supposed to be any gribblers here. Don't like it. Ah, okay, what are we doing? So there are 3 chapters. I'm not. What should I be getting these with? Maybe this. I don't know. Maybe my hands? Maybe. There are 3 chapters where you cannot save, quit the game, and come back. Because if you do, there is a game-breaking bug. 3 chapters, there's a game-breaking bug. Unbelievable. And I mean, like, literally, like, you have to start the game over. There's only one save in the game, so you have to start the game over. It's very common. It's very, very common. This is really weird. What is this place? I don't know what this place is. Like, this is some kind of rock? Yes. There's... I don't know what this place is. It's very interesting, though. I'm trying to think of some other things about the game. Oh, so these 3 chapters, like, holy crap, something just fell on me. Jeez, that's scary. I don't have a torch either, so we're just going to do I'm going to get totally lost in here too. I think I already am, frankly. But it seems like there's lots of exits. Yeah, okay. So here's an example in all of these where we get this situation where if you find a key to end a chapter, and you have to have this key to end the chapter, it's important, right? What's that way? That looks scary. And if you stop and save in the middle of the chapter, which you're supposedly allowed to do, right? What's that way? What is that? What is that? What is that? I don't know what that is. Okay, I just got a bunch of crap. I don't know what it is. Hold on, let me see. I got bread. That's good. I got a name tag. I don't know what that is. I got some torches. That's nice. Got some iron. Good. Pumpkin seeds. Beetroot. What's minecart with chest? Huh. Okay, so that's all the problems with Deadly Premonition, right? And genuinely all the problems with Deadly Premonition. It's a hot mess. It's legitimately a hot mess. We're going to put a couple of things in here just so I know that I came in this way. But let's talk about, despite all that, despite all the issues that I just said. What is this? Spiders? I don't see any. Of course, there's no spiders because it's. I need shears, I think, for that. I think so. Let's check down here. Yeah, this seems like this would be Spider Central if we weren't in Peaceful. Okay, so with all of that, all the bad things about it, it became my favorite game. It is still, there's a three-way tie now for my favorite game, but Deadly Premonition became one of my favorite games I ever played. And I'll tell you why. Because for all its flaws, and I'll be, oh wow, okay, that's why they say never, ever, ever do directly ahead of you, because it could be lava. What's down here? I need to make some more of these. Oh, I actually should probably get some of this too, frankly. Oh, wait, I can do a stone pickaxe. I have enough that I can do a stone. Do I? No, I don't. So it was one of those games where I felt like the humor, the story, it was written specifically with me in mind. It was one of those special things where, doggone it, I left my thing back there. Where did I put that? It's not down here, is it? No. There's another cart there, huh? Maybe we can make this our base? Not sure. There we go. It's still out here? I don't know. Yeah, this way. Maybe I left it out here? Not sure. Hello? Sweet. So I just honestly felt like it was made specifically for me. The humor, the story, and it was legitimately a slog to finish that. And it's a long Let's Play. I played that for months on my channel. There's a mod that fixes a bunch of the problems with it, and like the people who made the game are like, oh cool, thanks. Instead of just fixing it, they never fixed it. I to this day don't understand why they never correct the problems with the Steam version. I still don't understand why they even released it. But with all that said, it became my favorite game. It became my by a long shot. Previously, I would say to that, my favorite game would have been something like maybe Stalker, Call of Pripyat, something like that. A cult classic, you know? But no, it became Deadly Premonition, and it's still, I have very fond feelings of the game, not of playing it, but of the game itself. Which just sounds weird, right? But it's true. Let's see. We want to put one here, so we know that we're going out. Yeah. Okay. And then that way. Okay. Wait. Nope. Hold on. This needs to go here because coming in. All right. So with that, Deadly Premonition again, and super long. I played a lot of. I think there might be 68, 67 videos in that playthrough. But that became my favorite game by a long shot. So next up was a game called Little Misfortune. And I'm sure you know this. It's an iconic game. Classic even. But the thing that's interesting about Little Misfortune was super touching, super touching story. Really interesting. I had not really heard of it much before. So it was really interesting to play. A very, very touching story. Very, very tragic, touching story. If you haven't heard of it, play it. It can be disturbing at times, but it's a really, really solid game. It's an absolutely marvelous, solid game. What's down here? Nothing. Whoops, stop. Come here. Okay. Nothing. Okay, so After Little Misfortune was an absolutely marvelous game by I think another Australian company called Yak and Company, and the game was called Agent A. You already went this way, and this was another sort of puzzle investigative game, point and click. Absolutely marvelous, absolutely wonderful, so fun. What is down here? There's something over there. Do you see that? What is that? I don't know what that is. I don't want to get all spidery though, so let's see. Let's go down. Oh, we already checked down there. So, Agent A, absolutely fantastic game. Pretty short, but super fun. Just a really, really. Right side. I try to right side when I'm going in so I can tell it's left side coming out. What's down there? Oh, long drop. Yeah, we're not going down there. I don't know if I can tell you too much about it, but basically you're a secret agent and you go to several different locations and point and click and solve puzzles. It's super fun, really chill. I don't know if they have it in mobile, but it would make a great mobile game. So, okay, so after Agent A, I played another game the concept of it I found really interesting. Oh, hello. I don't know what you are, but you don't seem to mean me any harm, so that's fine. I feel like I'm not doing this efficiently. You know? We already looked down there. Well, maybe let's go out and find another entrance because we saw a couple of other entrances to this. Yeah, there we go. We'll head up the mountain and see if we can find a couple more entrances. Hey, sheep. Oh, I don't like to do this, but I'm going to have to. Sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. But I need your wool. Sorry. So after Agent A was a game, again, by another Australian. Oh, look at this. Look at this. By another Australian, small, tiny little dev team. And sadly, they're gone now. It was a game called Rumu. And it was essentially, oh, yes, please. Essentially, it's no, hold on. What's down here? Essentially, you're a robot vacuum cleaner that gains sentience and has to solve a mystery. It's a marvelous game. It's super fun. It's funny. I have a friend who, for some reason, absolutely refused to accept that this was a good game, just because he thought the premise was trite. I told him this game won a ton of awards for its story. He's like, nope, I'm out. It's like, okay, I mean, I guess you're lost, but weird. People are weird. What's down here? Another drop. Oh, but not that far. Okay. I wouldn't mind finding some more loot, to be honest. That's where we came from? Yes. So it's just a marvelous game. It's super sweet and really nice. Tells a really touching, interesting story. And the idea, so you have to kind of, there's this larger sentient AI, and you have to kind of keep the fact that you're sentient from it. And it just ends up being really interesting. At one point, you can ride around and a cat rides around you. It's marvelous. It's absolutely lovely. It's just and you solve the puzzles and figure out this mystery. It's really fantastic. It's absolutely great. I'm already hopelessly lost. That was nope. Okay. And that was nope. Mm-hmm. This way maybe. And this is another way in. How many entrances are there to this mine? Good Lord. I guess is this a mine? I don't know. So yeah, you should absolutely pick it up. Like I said, sadly, the studio did not last, which is too bad because it's a great studio. I mean, at least this game was great. Like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this game a lot. So the next game I played after that is a game called, boy, this is gonna be multi-part. What I can tell you already. Not this game. This thing. We're already at a half an hour, and I don't know how many games I'm in, but it's nowhere near 173. But that's cool. I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully this does well. Let's see. So the next game I came was a game called Murdered Soul Suspect, and this is a little bit not a super popular game, but it's a somewhat popular game. And the idea is really cool. You are a cop, and you end up getting inadvertently killed, and you are a ghost then, and you have to solve your crime, but you have to do it in a non-corporeal way. In other words, you can't touch anything. You can't do anything, and so it's a real interesting limitation. It's really cool. It's a really good game. I highly recommend it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that game quite a bit. Yeah, there's so many. How many levels to this mine are there? Good Clark. Oh, that's not a mine. That's just. But that is. Hold on. Come here. Let's see. Let's pull this out and make a few more torches. Oh, what happened? What happened? Blurg? I guess there's sand that can fall down. That's scary. I don't like that. Come here. Come here. That seems like that could kill you. Okay, let's see. I still don't know what the purpose of things are. We may flag this or something and come back later, but the idea of build my own little railroad seems kind of fun. So yeah, Murder Soul stuff like really interesting, and then there's these like really scary sort of demons that you have to avoid because they'll suck you up and kill you that the humans can't see. It's really cool. It's a really interesting game. I don't think it's quite horror, maybe more thriller, maybe. It's a great game though. Really interesting, super cool. Let's see. That's okay. That's the one I fell down. It's very interesting. I'll look down here. So what's the next game we played? Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templar, and again, if you know, it's an iconic point and click adventure from. Oh wait, I don't have any. I don't have any torches. Let's go ahead and make some more. Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templar, a really great game. An iconic point and click. I mean, literally, it's an iconic point and click adventure. It's really well known. It kind of shows its age a little bit. I think that there are more. I think that how do I say this? Modern point and click adventures mainly. I think they're not as brutal as like point and click adventures from our childhood, from like the 90s. They're not as. The modern ones will sort of have hint systems, I think, typically, that will help you if you get really stuck, and the older ones did not. And Broken Sword falls into the classic, big title point and click adventure game, which is fine, no problem, but it's just again, it can be rough if you're having problems with a particular puzzle. So let's talk a little about the next game I played because I remember I told you that Deadly Premonition was my favorite game at this point, and by a long shot. It just blew every game I played out of the water. Well, Deadly Premonition is from a Japanese director called Swery, and at this point in time, a brand new game from Swery came out called The Good Life, and I didn't have a lot of experience with Swery, but boy, did I like Deadly Premonition, so I thought we'd play The Good Life. And The Good Life was about, you're this person who, I think you're a woman who moves to a very, very small town in the UK. And it's just about the town sort of life, and you end up solving puzzles and finding just a bunch of really interesting, cool things. It's great. And again, I played this one a lot. I think there might be 90 Let's Plays of this. This is a long one. At this point I was doing a lot of really long Let's Plays. Lots of long series, and I try to do that less now. I enjoyed that game a lot. So next up was a game that I read about, and it was described as the best puzzle game you've never heard of, or the most underrated puzzle game ever. That's intriguing. That is absolutely intriguing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry. I kind of wish those were the sheep so I could like make a bed and go to sleep, but we'll figure it out. This absolutely must be like a desert biome. Very interesting. Oh, there's some down here. Go see, can we make little stairs going down? Oh, holy crap. What the splurp? That's scary. Let's see. Let's see if we can do this. Okay. Okay. Got little steps going up. Okay, good. Let's check this out. I've never seen anything like this. Is that another minecart? Maybe. Stop. What did I get? All kinds of stuff. Holy crap. Powered rails. Huh. Look at all the rails I've got. And now I got 2 minecarts? We need to make we need to do something with this. Let's see, what, I come in. I came in this way because they're facing to the right. We might as well check down at the end here. It seems like these mines might be full of spiders, given the number of spider webs. Super glad that nothing's spawning, though. I like that a lot. I appreciate that. Okay. Wait, nope. Come on right, leave on the left. Yep. So, and the game that is probably the most underrated puzzle game of all time is a game called the Talos Principle. And you may have heard of it. It's actually from the same dev studio that did Serious Sam. So, I mean, probably Serious Sam AAA. I feel like it's maybe more AA. Regardless, they wanted to do something different. And in my opinion, when people say it's the most underrated puzzle game of all time, they're 100% right. They're 100% right. It is. Come on, get up. There. It's one of the most fabulous puzzle games I think I've ever played in my entire life. There was only a single time. The puzzles were super challenging, but always really interesting. And essentially, you're this AI robot, and you have to sort of solve puzzles, find out what's actually going on. But there's this other AI that sort of, it becomes relatively clear. I don't think it's a spoiler, but this other AI ends up having this kind of God complex, and clearly is up to shenanigans and wants to do something, and so it wants to try to prevent you from finding out something or something, and it's very interesting, a really cool game. It's very, very cool. Highly recommend you play it. Absolutely marvelous. It's a marvelous game. Again, this was a very long game too. Just because it's a longer game, you know, it's a full-size title. Again, by the same studio that did Serious Sam. That whole franchise, not in that same vein. It's not as silly as Serious Sam, but it's just they're just kind of, what the sklurp is that? Why is that so glowy? Anyway, some more. Well, we might as well get Cold War uphill. We'll use it. You know, we'll use it. I highly recommend if you're looking for a really great game to play, and you want a really good, challenging, interesting, thoughtful puzzle game with a great story. Absolutely pick up the Talos Principle. So the next game I played is by a small indie developer, and it's called The House of DiVenci. And this is a super straightforward puzzle game. Very challenging, extremely challenging puzzles. I would say that it's I'm trying to think, it's not quite like The Room, but it's kind of like, it's like The Room-ish. It's that sort of style of puzzle game, if you know what I mean. And I ended up playing a couple of the other sequences of this just because it was so great. It's such a good game. Really, really fantastic. Highly recommended. It's if you like a good challenging puzzle game, pick it up because you will not be disappointed. It is extremely challenging. So next up was a game called Unfinished Swan. And this game got greenlit because it started off from 2 college students, did a tech demo at I don't remember where it was. Like I think it might have been for their I want to say that they went to CalArts. I want to say I could be wrong with that, but I think that's true. I think they went to CalArts, and this was some kind of tech demo or senior project. And somebody was like, I think Sony was like, "Hey, this looks really cool. Can you make a full game out of it?" And so they did. It's an incredibly original game. It's essentially you're presented with just an absolutely flat blank canvas. And you have to throw ink around to sort of create the world and make the world. And it's almost unlike any game I've ever seen. And it does a really interesting story. It's just marvelous. It's absolutely marvelous. It's not expensive. I highly recommend that you try it out because it is so much fun. Let's see, so I can make it down here without killing myself. Or am I just gonna, let's go. Water. Holy crap, look how far down I went. Up. Cool. Let's go ahead and just jump up here. Should we head over to that cave? Yeah, pick up the unfinished one. I don't want to tell you too much because I don't want to spoil it, but just the idea of you going around and solving puzzles by making the world with just your ink gun on this white canvas, it's marvelous. It's absolutely great. By the way, this is Giant Sparrow, the same company that did What Remains of Edith Finch. And we'll talk about that a little bit later because that's another game that's the second game they developed, and I played, and it's marvelous. I love both of them. The next game that I played was a game called Down in Bermuda. And Down in Bermuda is by the same company, the same Yakin company, the same Australian company that did H&A. It very much in the same vibe as H&A, same type of puzzles, same fantastic drawing. Is that lava? Holy splat. Just marvelous. Absolutely marvelous. A great game. Highly, highly, highly recommended that you play it. It's great. Anything by Yakin company. I think they only have the 2 games, but anything by Yakin company is absolutely highly recommended. Just don't even question it. Just get it, pick it up, play it. You'll absolutely love it. And Down in Bermuda was certainly the case for that. So next up was a game called Whispering Willow's. This is actually kind of an interesting game. I ended up not liking aspects of it, not from a technical standpoint, not from anything else. There was a game-breaking bug, and normally it's not that big of a deal, but I discovered that for whatever reason, this was not only published by Akapura, but I also believe it was made by them. And for whatever reason, oops, they don't have save files. Holy crap, look at the size of this place. Good splurg. That's overwhelming. I mean, I know there's no Gribblers down there, so we can go check it out. Should we? Maybe. If I can get down easy. If I can't get down easy, then I'm not going to do it. Nope. We'll come back later if we remember where it is. That's incredible. How can we get out of here? There's lava, and I don't want to touch the lava. Maybe we swim around the lava? Yeah, let's swim around the lava. Swim over here. So, Whispering Willows, again, a really interesting game, point and click adventure. Can I hold it? No. I saw some iron. I would really like to find that, but I just can't find a way to get up here, so. We'll just keep swimming until we find something. Why not? Hey, oh, that's right. That's right. I wanted to visit this tree biome over here, so let's do that. Cool. Love it. What's that? Is that a parrot? Holy crap, hi. You're marvelous. There's 2 of you. Wow. Okay, sorry, where was I? Oh my gosh, it said something. That's so cool. So I'm assuming it was some sort of tropical thing. There's another kitty up there. Should we cut down some trees? Why not? Why not? So, remember I told you about Swery, the Japanese director that did Deadly Premonition? Wait, we have to make another thing. So, a lot of what Swery's work was based on, things like there are for some reason very strange. There are twins, for example, in Deadly Premonition. It doesn't make any sense until you realize that he's kind of copying another Japanese director that I think that he really felt like was a huge influence on him. And that is the Japanese director Suda. And you may know Suda probably more likely from the series No More Heroes. And again, No More Heroes, not quite my style, but I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate the humor and what it goes into it. And I think that Suda's a good director, but he did a game that is described as, it's on rails, but it's on weird rails. and it's how do I describe it? The gameplay is sort of something like I've never quite seen before. It's very strange. It's also it's a really good game. I enjoyed it. It's a little too quirky. And I'm trying to think, it's probably psychological horror, I would say. But it's a really good game. You're an example, your sort of intro to the world is this man that kind of follows you around in a gimp suit and like gives you hints. It's so strange. but it's a really good game. I enjoyed that game quite a bit. And then the next game that I played was a straight puzzle game, and again a tiny little puzzle game. But this was probably, at this point, this would be one of the more obscure games I played. And as a consequence of it, for the longest time, it was absolutely over time. It didn't perform that great when I initially did the upload, but over time, it has done extraordinarily well. And I think it's just because people playing it and needing to solve a particular puzzle, because the puzzle could be extremely challenging. And so they go and would watch my videos. And so for the longest time, it was my number one up-performing videos. That was replaced. It's still, as a group, in some of my top viewed videos, but it was an interesting game. So you're basically, in this game, you're a museum conservationist in the future, and apparently we have discovered there used to be life on one of Saturn's moons, and so we have scientists who go there and they send us back stuff, and we have to. Are we back in our original area? Don't tell me. Are we? Well, whatever. That's fine. So we have to look at this foreign sort of technology and decipher what it does. It's a really interesting puzzle game, very challenging puzzles, but very unique puzzles done really, really well. It's a really good game, but again, pretty obscure. So next up was a game called Carto, Carto, and this was done by a small studio out of Taiwan. And the thing that's interesting about this is it's a map puzzle. So you use maps to solve puzzles. And I know that doesn't sound that strange, but like, say for example, you meet a man and you're this person who's gone out on an epic journey. You're this young girl who gets accidentally kicked out of her grandma's blimp, which I'm not making it up. And so then you have to try to find your way back. And your grandma and you come from a very long line of cartographers. So, like people who make maps. And so you go through this world and you end up like interacting with people and solving puzzles through your map. And what I mean by that, all the maps are tile based. And so I can give an example where like one of the people you meet says, okay, hey, I need to go, but if you can get me this one thing, and this one thing is by an ocean that's lined by a forest, the borders of the forest, then you can meet me, and I'm on the other side of the island with the ocean, and it's the thing that's by like a mountain. And you have to put your map together to create those scenarios. Is this bamboo? Huh. Oh, we'll mine some bamboo. Why not? Wait, I'll probably be using... Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay. Anyway, Carto is... If you want to play one of the most original... Literally one of the most original game mechanics that I've ever played, pick up Carto, because it is amazing. It is legitimately amazing. It's a great game. It's not very expensive at all. I can't wait for this small team to come up with something else, because it was so good. So after Cargo, I want to talk about this game quite a bit, because this was the first game that I ended up on the channel openly saying that I didn't like it. And it's a game called Ether 1. And the premise is really interesting. The premise is you're a person who sort of has the ability to go into this new machine, this scientific wonder that allows you to go into the mind of a dementia patient. And essentially, you go into their memories and you retrieve their memories and put them together so they make sense. And you're trying to fix their brain, right? You're trying to help their injury. And the puzzle started off pretty good, I would say, but as the game went on, the puzzles got a little more nonsensical and obtuse, and then at the very end, can I not pick up any more? Wow, totally, holy crap! Let's see, what are we going to do here? Yellow terracotta. Okay, so I got terracotta. I got a feather. I don't need a feather. I can get rid of a feather. Okay. Yeah. Well, you can make a chest or something. Oh, can I get up? Yeah. So anyway, the puzzles just became more sort of nonsensical and obtuse. And if you know me at all, you know that don't have a lot of patience for obtuse puzzles, right? I know that there's a lot of people who have nostalgia for Myst, and the type of puzzle where of course, the solution is with no hints at all from the story or anything. Of course, it means that you need to. Oh, it's like, well, I'm already. Geez, let's eat an apple. No, hold on. Yeah, we eat an apple. Why not? Okay. What did these stack up to? Oh wow! Look how many I have. Holy crap! Yeah, we might have to make a base here somewhere. Maybe we'll look around here. Certainly enough materials. Anyway, so you end up going through this, and as you go through it, the puzzles become more and more sort of obtuse, and not in a deliberate way, right? Not in a way that's like, okay, they're doing this on purpose. It's just not good. It's just not a good game. And then the ending is this major sort of switcheroo, like M. Night Shyamalan switcheroo, and it doesn't work, and it really screwed up the entire game for me. And I didn't like that at all. It didn't work. It wasn't good. And I talked about it and said that, this game really is not good. It's not a very good game. And it wasn't. It just wasn't a very good game. Period. Watermelon, maybe? Cantaloupe? Not sure. And I thought a little bit about, but I want to be honest with my audience. I do want to be honest with my audience, and I want to let them know what I think about games honestly. And so I played this, and it was there was maybe 20, maybe more videos in that series, and it just wasn't a good game. I just didn't enjoy it, and the whole ending just completely screwed it up for me. I wonder what I can make with these. I think I'm going to put a little home here, though. I think we can cut down some trees and make a nice home. That's a little scary. We're going to cut this one out here. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so. Huh. So yeah, that was Again, I thought long and hard about that because I'm a pretty positive person, but I also want to be honest with Kitty. I don't have a fish, and I should not get fish. Oh wait, I'm not gonna be able to get a fish because I won't have spider silk. Huh? That's a conundrum. Okay, let's get some of this wood. Why not? So then the next game I played was a game called Almost Gone. The Almost Gone. And it was one of those games that's like a diorama, like a puzzle solving diorama, where you're presented with this one little diorama room and you have to puzzle your way out. I enjoyed this game a lot. This was the story was interesting and a little bit upsetting, but it did a great job of slowly unveiling itself over time. It was such a good game. Really fantastic. And at that point, I'd never really played a game quite like that before. So then after we played that, I ended up playing a game called Enbento. And Enbento this was one of the first absolutely straight puzzle games that didn't have a sort of narrative. Just 100% straight puzzles. And it was great. It was so fantastic. I was really, again, it was another time where I was pretty worried about it because, I hadn't done this before. Like, I had not done a 100% just strictly straight puzzle game before. I'd always really stuck to things that were, had a pretty deep storyline, and so I was actually quite concerned about it, but it turned out really well. It had just enough of a story to tie the puzzles together. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It actually was really nice. Okay, we're just gonna clearing out some thing here so we can build a little shelter. Yeah. Basically, you're a Japanese mom. I assume Japanese since bento, and you make bentos for your kid, and every chapter your kid gets a little older and a little older. Where did I cut down that tree? Where was that? Oh, here it is. Nice. Yeah, so again, I was very concerned about that because it was very different than anything I'd ever done before. I had never done just a really, really super straightforward puzzler. But it turned out I didn't need to be concerned. It was perfectly fine and worked out well. So after that, I played House of DiVenci 2, which is the sequel to House of DiVenci. And it was a great sequel. The only thing I would say that was a little bit weird was it had voice acting. The first one did not have voice acting. It just, was written voices. The voice acting was not great. It kind of came across to me like maybe the developer isn't from an English-speaking country, and they maybe got voice actors, or at least the director for the voice actor, who wasn't really fully versed, and it wasn't. But despite that, it was still pretty fun, and I still had a pretty good time. So let's see. Now we need a shovel, I think. Oh, did I make a shovel? Yeah, I did. Okay. So let's see. What are we gonna? Let's do some. We have jungle logs. So let's go ahead and make a decent number of these for a floor. Okay. And then we'll just start digging out some stuff here. Make a nice little house. I'll put it right here. Why not? Okay. Just make a nice square house. Uh-oh. Hold on. Get in there. And again, House of DiVenci 2, in fact, the House of DiVenci 1, this is a great example of, it had a really nice story. Interesting story. A little, fantastical, but that's okay. And the whole thing devolves around your Leonardo da Vinci is gone missing, and you are his assistant and his good friend, and he's leaving you hints on on where to find him and what's going on. And it turns out that maybe there's some not very nice people looking for him and consequently looking for you. It's really nice. It's an absolutely lovely story. Really, really good. Very thoughtful. Except for the voice acting. And let's see. I think the last game that I'm going to do in this video was a game called Mutropolis, and this again by a tiny little. By a tiny little studio. It's an homage to a classic point and click. It has an absolutely silly plot, great humor, really good story, really good puzzles, like excellent puzzles. The illustration is fabulous. And the whole thing is just so silly and fun. It's really fantastic. I highly recommend this game. They haven't that this development studio has done this, has not come out with another game yet, and I wish they would, because it's just so much fun. It's such a fun game. Let's see, what do we do? We need more jungle logs. That's what we're using here. Okay. There we go. Bonk. Said bonk. Okay. I think the last game that I'm going to talk about in this video, and then we will continue it in the next video. I don't know how many videos this will be, probably maybe 3 or 4, but hopefully you like this. I just want to sort of memorialize the games that I played on my channel. So the last one is a game called The Station. I thought it was interesting. It was an interesting story. The story was a little bit weak, but it's basically you're in it's sort of a slightly in the near future. You're on a space station that's orbiting, and everybody has gone missing. And it's your job. Where should the door go? Sure, this is not optimal, but it should be okay. Maybe we'll put the door here. Is that even? I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we'd have to have 2. Well, we'll have 2. Why not? We'll figure it out. So we're on a space station, and everybody has gone missing, and you have to figure out why they've gone missing. And so you can go through and you have this magic device that sort of allows you to read people's memories. It's a really interesting story. Not the best game in the world, but it's okay. It was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. And I think with that, we're going to end this anniversary special. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm just going through and sort of reminiscing about the games I played and in the order that I played them, and talking a little bit about them as I go through and just sort of play super chill, peaceful Minecraft. It appears we started out maybe in a desert biome, and now we're in a tropical biome. Ones I have never seen before. Don't worry, I'm still going to be continuing my regular Minecraft on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, with most Sundays a live stream later on. But I just wanted to do this as a sort of 4th anniversary special. In the 4 years I played 173 games. I have produced well over 1,800 videos, and I've loved every minute of it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for another anniversary special part 2, continuing the games that I played on my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.